And
Nor
their
their
50th
50th
anniversary, we need to do some planning for that.
Okay.
Oh,
That's good enough.
we don't have it planned yet.
What do you got there, Scott?
So I think everything they're doing is illegal.
I usually
I just want to know why you're here.
people are just
Why you're
letting
part of the
her do it.
group
Yeah.
as a commissioner.
kids do you have?
No, are you here as just a person or as a commissioner?
Jackson.
My hair is what?
Yeah.
Or just as a member or,
Who's out there?
Well, I guess to help get it going, and then I can leave.
well, you're fine here.
I brought a bunch of stuff.
Oh, wow.
Did you get my email?
I did, and you know, I tried to send you an email and it would not go through. And I don't know what I did wrong.
What's my word?
Did the one I sent you today?
I didn't get it today.
That bill says,
Which bill was it?
that one about the
Commission's got this going, I
2016,
thought,
the Wilderness Corridor bill.
Oh, that failed?
It failed.
Yeah, I think you're a valuable person.
Oh, that's good news.
But it's still happening.
Oh my gosh, it failed, Bill. When did it fail?
With that session, it didn't go anywhere.
Are you talking 2016 or 2018?
It failed in 2016.
They're resubmitting it. They got a lot of support for it now.
Good, it's a great day.
Well,
What's your name?
Jim Davis. A lot of people call me
Alina.
Jimbo.
They resubmitted it in 2018.
Well, let's
because
get
I looked at the
started.
status and I didn't see it, so if they did.
Introductions, Chuck Hinkle.
Patty Kendall?
Scott Adwood.
Heidi Hinkle.
Jim Davis.
Elena Gagliano.
Scott Sylvester.
Sue Peterson.
Margie Lee.
Okay, next thing, approval of minutes, and we don't have any minutes. So, any suggestions? Heidi is here to take minutes for this time.
Try.
Let's try.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
No.
Well, where's the minutes for the last meeting?
What's that?
Where's the minutes for the last meeting?
We don't have any.
That's right, why?
Because we didn't get it.
Because Becky Smith decided to quit right after the meeting and having a discussion with the county commissioners about it, right? Technically, she should have done the minutes.
Didn't she do them last time?
No.
She was taking them when we were sitting here.
Well, good.
We'll get them, or find her.
Anybody get a copy of the minutes? No, I got the agenda.
So, Heidi's gonna take minutes now, and she doesn't guarantee the accuracy, so if anybody,
Yeah, you guys might say, I
anybody
didn't
doesn't
say
like it,
that.
say it now, and take
Do a great
minutes.
job.
I agree with you. Should be fine.
We'll see.
Who's gonna do the agenda for next time? Elena?
I'm the secretary, I'm not doing the minutes of the agenda. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do as a secretary. For a discussion, maybe someday we'll get this thing organized. I don't think it's still organized. And yet we're dealing into stuff. So that's the
Anybody
way I
volunteer to
feel.
take the agenda, you do the
Is
agenda?
this basically what we're doing? Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could you make a copy of the agenda for everybody? Thank you, Scott. 49. But I should be. That's all right.
Should you make some copies of that
How
when
many?
you're done?
The agenda gets emailed out to everybody.
And we can change it up to a certain point. The next meeting will be like July 11th, so maybe 1st of July.
Yeah.
So we can get a hold of you
Right.
and change, or
Right.
add something on.
That's what Becky did. She sent out a preliminary agenda and then people could add it.
Chuck, let's wait on this bill. Alina says it went down, but I thought they resubmitted it, they're gonna try to resubmit it again. I'll just follow it for a while to see, then we can print it out. No use scaring everybody, they don't have to.
I should have looked at the next item.
What's that?
I should have looked at the next item.
Oh.
So I guess Bill is not present.
What's
Yeah,
that?
Bill
Bill
is,
is not present.
no,
Well, we can talk about this. I guess we need 7 members. Need an odd number.
Like 5 or 7.
Right. So we'll probably add one instead of taking one off, if that's okay with everybody else.
Oh, yeah, I think actually we need more than 7, but.
Chuck,
No, Scott.
Scott.
Scott,
Chuck's
no,
here.
you're taking notes. I mean, you're taking.
There was another Scott that was here, that he came all the time, but he missed one meeting, and he kind of wanted.
That other Chuck was here.
Well, Chuck Stokey would like to be on the committee also,
Well, I think the other guy,
and Des Cox.
You know, didn't they need to, apply? You know?
Yeah,
the
it should be
commissioners
who,
weren't
they
very
chose,
clear.
they wrote letters, you know, the commissioner to who was chosen. And those people should be the ones maybe, huh? And didn't that Scott, that, he looks kind of like you, he had the white beard, he sat right across there.
No, I think his name was Chuck.
It's Chuck Lizer, L-I-Z-E-R.
Oh, it's Chuck, I kept trying to call,
Yeah,
oh,
it
that's
is.
right, I tried to
It is.
name him
And he
Scott.
he was chosen, I believe, by the.
You're
There's
right.
enough Scots in the
He
room
was,
already.
all right,
Right, so-
I kept trying to call him
my
Scott.
suggestion would be to have him on the committee.
Chuck, or Scott, or what was his name?
Chuck.
Lizer.
Yeah, he got a letter to us. He and I both showed
You
up
wanna
on a
vote that?
Tuesday.
Anybody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion. Chuck will be-
You wanna vote on it? Everybody
I'll
vote
second
in
the
favor?
motion.
Or is Jim on committee
Do you
too?
want a copy of the agenda?
It's
Sure.
Jim.
Yeah, I better.
Well, then how can he
Let me just pass him on.
No, I'll second.
You're the boss. I'll second the motion, but,
Discussion?
There you go, Chuck.
I think when the commissioners chose the committee, there was a lot of confusion because initially there was to be the Sapphire Wilderness Committee, just to look into issues of the Sapphire Wilderness, and then it turned into Forestry Advisory Committee, and people were really confused about signing up, and so, I'm not gonna vote for Chuck, just because I think the committee is really weighted towards the ATVs.
All those in favor of Chuck being on the committee? raise your hand.
Aye.
I don't think you're on, actually.
Pardon me?
I don't think you're actually part of the committee.
He is.
Oh, okay, should I resign from the committee then? I only came to the first meeting.
Yeah, right.
Well,
So,
but did you get a letter from the commissioner?
Yes, I did.
Well, then,
Did he
you saw the
sign?
committee, they saw the committee. I mean, it's just, I think.
But if you guys want me to resign, I'm
No,
gonna
I
resign.
don't want him to resign, I just think we need to really open it up more.
I
Point
called
you know.
Betsy and trying to figure out.
Point of clarification. The commissioners started this, they requested applications.
Yeah.
I think you filled one out.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so the ones that filled it out happen to be,
I think Chuck
as
did too.
members.
I think he did too.
pardon?
I think Chuck did too.
Well, we shouldn't be
he did.
thinking about
Yeah.
this. Where are the applications, so we know who's on this? I mean, we should have. You can hand it to me like a normal person, please? Thank you.
We all got a letter, didn't we, with all the names on it that, a lot, with all their names and phone numbers and email addresses.
That ain't all
Right.
Good bunch down here.
Oh, you didn't get one?
I'm just looking for the ones that were approved, the ones that stamped. This one's stamped. See, I have no idea who was approved and who wasn't. Should I just,
Well, I think everybody was approved.
These are-
They wrote up one,
These are
that,
small
yeah.
Some of
To
them are
assume
out-
that
some
that-
of them are out of,
But they have to be residents. I mean,
In
they,
Granite County.
yeah.
even if they own land, they can.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
okay, here's the ones that are, there's initials on it. Who's
Some
that?
of them
Oh,
come,
those are the commissioners, okay,
see, some of them come in
and they're
that day
stamped.
that we asked, and then some of them come in the day we started.
These are not stamped.
Some of them got filled out right here.
But Margie Lee, you're, okay. All right, so we'll assume that that one is a stamped one.
Like I said, some of them got filled out here, Got two here.
Elena Gagliano, Chuck Hinkle, Hattie Candish, Jim Davis,
Oh, so Jim is?
yep.
He was here for the first meeting, and that's when we did.
And Bill Antonelli, we guess he's done, it wasn't stamped, so
He's done.
how many of those? Do we have them?
Bill is done. Oh, he's.
No, is it done, do you have the names on these people, so we know that these are the people that are members? So there's
Say it one
one,
more time,
two,
two.
Bill
I'll
Antonelli,
put
I
an
can
M by
copy
it.
'em, give
So
'em to
Chuck, Elena, Patty, Sue, Bill, and Jim Davis, right?
so that's 6, right?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Jim Davis.
So, is that what the other check on there?
There you go, thank you.
Did he fill one out, the other check?
Yeah, did that Chuck, Lena did that Chuck.
That wasn't stamped though.
Well, a lot of them aren't, Elena, because they come later. Some got stamped, got up there, and then the day we started, they just handed them to me. So I
Okay,
didn't
well,
take them back and
they're
stamp.
supposed to be approved.
So are you a member?
Don't know yet. I'll go get you stamped.
So how many do we
Point
have
made.
now?
What?
6 so
What'd you say?
far. 6 without not counting Scott.
Well, we gotta count Scott.
Well, then that would be 7.
7 with Bill.
And that's the other
There's
one.
6 of us here.
And
And then
then,
7 with Bill.
and
Scott
then
is,
Scott, and that's.
Scott's 2, actually 2, so he's 9.
But this Scott, you're not a member.
No, I'm not a member.
No.
He's
Oh,
from the
you're on the-
I
newspaper.
mean, Chuck,
sorry.
Chuck, right here.
Well, for now, let's put Jim in, we'll have 7.
Well, he is in there.
Yeah,
If Chuck comes
These are the
back,
only two
we'll
that ain't stamped.
deal with that.
right.
Whoever
Okay.
they are. Who are they?
Anybody want to?
Charles Weiser. And he was here
It's like
last time,
30
sitting
cats,
right
isn't
there.
it?
But are they approved?
And Bill.
Are they approved? It's not stamped or signed
No,
by
you don't
the
have all.
commission.
These are the ones I,
You might need it.
So Chuck's asking for a motion?
so I'll get these stamped.
We'll make a motion to
If they're
have
in.
Jim on the
Yeah, if they're in here.
committee.
I make a
now.
motion to
They're
have Jim on the
members.
committee now.
Okay.
Okay.
Some second. Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I don't know, what are we doing again? That he's
Putting
on?
Jim, yeah, we made a motion.
He is on. He already has, is that?
We just made it official.
Thank you.
Who seconded that
Awesome work for you
motion?
guys.
Margie?
Margie,
Fun.
okay, Margie.
Fun work.
So I don't have yours stamped, I will get it stamped. and you're-
Okay, thank you. I didn't
We're gonna
get
move
that
on now to the
Commissioner, so
update
thank you,
on
Scott.
formal commissioners' resolution. Okay, I was told to write one up, I wrote one up, and I haven't heard a thing since. Scott?
I think Scotty has something here.
Here's a, this is just a, it's not a, it's a draft. It's just a draft, you guys can go over it and see what you think.
What's it called? It's called
Called the Granite County Forest Management.
bylaws?
Whoops.
All right, you write that, Chuck.
And then here's a resolution. I thought it was all made. And this is the resolution. All this is just something where the, Blaine said this will get us started. And then you guys can change what you want on it, is that fine?
When was this discussed with the commissioners?
Well, I'll take
I
it.
didn't see it on the agenda, that it was discussed.
We didn't, I just had Blaine do this because you guys asked me to. Remember we said we was gonna have a resolution? So I went up and asked Blaine to do it. Just so we'd have it for the meeting.
What if I don't like this one?
No, we can throw it out.
Huh?
That's why it's just, this ain't,
It's a work in progress. Yeah, and so,
So
because
if
you
you
gotta
see
start
stuff,
somewhere and then we'll
if you
make
see
it
stuff you don't want, that's what, we're just trying, it's a start. I can get more copies.
Why was I asked to do a resolution? There's nothing that said on it.
Because we haven't printed, because that, your stuff will go on the other resolution, Blaine said.
The other?
The other resolution?
But the original, this isn't the original, this is just a draft.
I don't understand.
Well, if we all had a copy, maybe in the next month, we could all read it carefully, and if we have
And then we'll have
suggestions.
his stuff too.
Right, and then we can work on it some more.
So we all agreed to look at this and we'll discuss it and
We need a few more copies. Is there just the one paper, Scott, just the one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like several.
Well, this is the resolution one.
Okay.
I'll give you some more. Could I borrow yours, Ernie?
Here, you can borrow,
I'll
Scott.
go. I might make some.
Which one you need, this one?
Please.
And then maybe
we might,
or someone could email it to Chuck Lizer and anyone else, and Bill, you know, so I have a chance to look at it too.
Okay, while we're waiting, just, here's another point. Okay, so we read this, and I think really what we should do is get on the agenda with the commissioners, so we can have a discussion with the commissioners, what we want changed, what we want done, stuff like that.
they're good. Yeah.
Rather than this going back and forth and we're not getting answers and we're copying things, we're wasting time.
So say again what you
And I
just
printed
said.
something out, I didn't know how to advertise it.
Oh,
That,
that's pretty good.
Oh, it looks
We
really good.
look at this, maybe by the end of the week, get to be on the agenda for the commissioners and have a discussion with it, so we can get this straightened out.
I think that time frame is really,
More in a bunch.
Elena, tell Scott what you want to do.
After we read it, maybe a week, we decide or discuss it, we can discuss it with, or we can get on the agenda for the commissioners, sit down with the commissioners, and then we can discuss it
That's
with the
fine.
commissioners, and everybody's there, and we can bring out the points that we don't like or want changed or whatever.
Sounds good.
Don't you think we should have an agreement on the committee though, before we waste the commissioners' time?
We're not wasting the commissioners' times, they set this up.
But I
We
mean,
didn't.
Elena and I, and it's possible that some of us won't agree, we could hash something out in our group here before presenting it to the commissioners, rather than take 2 hours of the commissioners' time while we hash our committee's
I
work out.
agree.
Is that okay?
Yeah. We wanna
Yeah,
look smart.
we should get our ducks in order first.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I don't have everything. I'm new at this too. I
You're
never read.
fine, no, you're fine, I'm
I
just
never
saying
ran
we
it.
don't wanna take 2 hours of the commissioners' time while we're discussing the.
Yeah, exactly, we're gonna start arguing
Right, well, we will argue about it, we know we will.
about it. So we all agree on that then?
Yeah, I don't think it's,
We'll study this for the
I
next,
think that's
right,
what, I
because
think
there's no
that's what
precedent.
Blaine, how Blaine put it is to look it over, take out what you don't want out, and let's
Right.
try to get all on the same page, which we might not all agree on the same thing, but at least we have a start.
Right, right, and there's no pressing need to have it done in the next week or two.
You know, it would take a little bit of time to do it right,
Right,
and we can get it done.
yeah, that's easy
fine.
enough.
okay, we're gonna move on to the Sapphire Wilderness Study Area. Does anybody have anything to say about that?
I haven't heard anything on it online or anything.
No, it's been
Just-
really quiet. I talked to
Yeah.
Senator Dane's lady, and
Mhm.
it's been really, really quiet.
I was gonna suggest that we take it off our agendas, you know, I just put it on last time. But like I said, I think it's just been kind of
I
hushed
think it's at
over.
a standstill until we can,
Isn't there enough support for it back there?
oh, yes and no.
Okay.
It's, they won't really say much, you know, you ask them.
It's a hot topic, no one wants to commit, so.
That's why, when I talked to Danielle, she was just like, you know, it's still the same. I can come over, I said, well, then, let's come over, tell them the same thing you did.
I know, yeah,
Don't waste her time.
yeah.
So just keep going and keep us posted on everything. And I did get, the Ravalli County Collaborative bylaws.
Oh, good. Well, thank you, Scott.
We
But
can do
I
that,
didn't make
can we do that on new
I
business?
will.
Scott, can we do that on new business?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So, Would anybody like to make a motion that we table this until it comes into the spotlight again?
I'll make a motion that we table the Sapphire Wilderness Study Area
Okay.
until it comes on Saturday.
So we have something to talk about. I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All
I
opposed?
found- And I found out I'm not a voting person.
Oh, okay.
Oppose.
Of me voting or, oh, not of this or me.
No, of the vote.
Okay, so we'll take that off.
Well, we can always add it again, so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's.
When we hear something, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Discuss MIPA air quality. Anybody have anything on that?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Anyway, I heard Missoula County was talking about a different air quality program. And because they're getting so much conflict on the fire and the smoke that they're gonna try to do something different. They went to the mayor and nothing's really come out yet. I don't know what they'll do, but, you know, they just go from stages. So I don't really know what they're gonna do, but I did get told that.
This gal here, Sarah Cofield, she's a specialist on air quality in Missoula County. And I was gonna print this out, but I grabbed the wrong one, there's a big advertisement. Those little pop-ups that come up when you don't expect it. But she talks about what happened last summer in the fires, how many people got sick, and how dangerous this stuff was. She would be a really neat one to have come talk at our group.
What's her name, Penny?
Sarah Cofield, Cofield. Yeah, she would be excellent. I bet she would come up and talk to us about that.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but
Said something.
she said it was so many people got so sick last year, old people and young people. She talks about the air quality in here, how much it was. Seeley Lake was really bad. That was about the worst place. But I think it'd be neat to have her because people, you know, the air's clear now, we're breathing, but we forget about it, how terrible it was last summer. So,
Well, I can tell you a couple of stories. Yesterday, Heidi and I were in Missoula at a business place, and there's one guy we've known for like 20 years. Anyway, we start talking, and told him I was running for county commissioner, and he goes, "Hey, why are you gonna do that?" And I said, well, you know, one of the big things is fires. And there was a group of people talking over here. And as soon as I said, I was running for county commission, and how they don't put out the fires and smoke, everybody stopped talking and came over to it.
yeah,
Everybody.
people are tired.
And they're tired of it. And then the guy was running us around, kind of a shuttle thing, and the conversation came up. And this guy was saying that his wife couldn't go out, they live in Lowell,
Yes.
couldn't go out for 3 months, the whole time of the fires. She had asthma.
I guess a lot of people,
That's just not right. Okay. Another little story is I called up the head of the state DEQ Air Quality Division and had a discussion and asked them why they aren't enforcing the Montana State Constitution and the MIPA. And he said, well, we can't tell the federal government what to do. And I'm like, what? And I said, well, you know, if people are getting hurt by the smoke, you should be, you know, doing something about it. And the guy says, he said, well, what if we told them to put the fire out, somebody got hurt?
he goes,
I said, by your own data, people are being hurt by all the smoke because they're not attacking these fires. We left it at that. That's what's that.
Did you get
it
that?
has caused heart attacks in older people. And like you say, asthma. And I guess those particles, when they go in your lung, they're a chemical, you know, and you know, horses get hurt really bad too, because they have such big lungs, they just inhale it. And one of my friend's horses was coughing up blood at the end of the summer. You know, I don't know if that was caused by that. The Indians were smart, they burned all the forest down in the late fall, then they headed out, you know, and then came back to smoke. So we have to live here.
Well, they didn't burn all the forests down because.
No, the snow would have taken, you know,
Right,
stopped it.
Park found plenty of
Yeah,
forests.
yeah. They like the grassland, so. Yes, you are. Yes.
There's extras.
Any other discussion on the air quality? Okay, then we're gonna go to Sue's report and Patty's report,
Okay.
and just, I guess we can ask questions, but we don't wanna make comments when you guys are talking, because I don't wanna get in an argument.
Right, I know some people do that. I think it's terrible. I would
Sue and I have discussed
Anyway, so you each have 20 minutes. I think you're gonna talk about having an extra meeting.
Right, I'm gonna take about 5 minutes. I hope you don't mind, rather than.
You want me to just pass these down?
That'd be true.
Oh. You know, so your group and my group isn't too different.
I don't think so either.
In fact, they're on each other's.
Are they on each other's?
They are. They're all in it together.
So, I looked on the Montana Forest Collaboration Network website, and I got this, which is a charter, and it gives a little background information. They have a really nice website. And the collaborative processes can advance the realization of public interest across the full range of land ownerships and natural resource settings. And you know, you can read this for yourself. I thought the most effective thing to do with this would be to get Gordy Sanders from Pyramid to come and talk to our group. I talked to Chuck about this, and you know, it really could take a special meeting or an entire meeting if he comes all this way, and Tim Love might come also.
Could a guy have just a public meeting so
Well,
everybody
see,
could come?
that's what I was thinking, you know, if he's going to all this
Really,
trouble.
really.
Upstairs. and-
Right.
Like we did with that other senator that came over.
Right.
Carry and then.
That's right, that would be
I didn't
good.
think- yeah.
Could we tie that in with the show me trip? And so we'd have to do it all in one day, so like have an hour and a half talk, and then,
Now, are you talking about maybe going out to one of our sites and showing restorative work on our job? Yeah. I got to talk to the landowner, you know, to get permission. And we got several places. We could do a field trip, what we loggers do out there for restoring the forest. I think you guys will be pleased what you see.
That's fine by me.
The weather better be nice, but I guess we can.
Was you gonna do a field trip on part of that wilderness, just
Yeah,
kinda
we
have a
wanted
little
to.
cruise on it too? Could you do it all of that, or is that a pretty long day?
Maybe we could do that
how
another
long
time.
would it take on your stuff?
Probably a couple of hours. It's mostly out on Rock Creek, you know, up the Middle Fork, the Ross's Fork.
Well, we couldn't get to the wilderness. We could go down there with a fire burn, down
Yeah.
Isn't that number 9 on the agenda?
Huh?
the way. Okay,
Isn't that number 9 on the agenda?
yeah, it is.
Yeah, discuss a field trip.
Sorry.
Have you talked to Gordy?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did,
okay,
and he was very nice to talk to.
Yeah.
He's willing.
Oh, yes, he would have come today, but you know, you and I had talked about how 20 minutes isn't near enough to do
No.
his talk justice.
I think people will be impressed to see what the mills are doing, what the loggers are doing. You know, it's different now.
Right, but his deal is collaboration, and that includes, okay, logging, which I have nothing against logging, I hope you all know this, but I also appreciate the value of wilderness, but you know, they'll have loggers, mineral interest, ATVs, hunters, we have no hunters, you know, like I'm thinking backcountry hunters and anglers, those kinds of hunters, fishermen, hikers, photographers, you know, their collaborative group includes a really wide variety. And I don't know how they make decisions. There's collaboration and there's consensus, and I haven't quite researched that enough to know the difference, but I think there is a difference. But some groups won't even touch an issue because they're too sensitive and the group can't agree on them. So I think the Beaverhead National Forest Collaborative is like that, where there's some issues, it's just too hot of a topic for them. Oh, that's great, and so I appreciate you doing that because that would be very interesting to us, being our neighbors. Anyway, that's all I have to say, to let the expert come in and talk about it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm jumping on
Yeah,
a
that's-
sequence here, but
Could
could you two get
He's
together
got-
on a date or, and kind of get this thing rolling?
Oh, for Gordy, you mean?
Gordy talking, and then
Yeah,
if you can find.
probably be up to when Gordy can make it, maybe, when he's not
Right.
busy.
But if you guys set some dates, I'll talk to Gordy and set that up. Do you know Gordy Sanders?
I do,
Yeah,
I've known him for years.
okay, do you think he'd be good?
I think he's great.
Yeah.
We
He's
do
quite a good
business.
speaker and was quite knowledgeable, but.
Yeah, and he gets all the groups involved.
Yeah,
He's part member of the Montana Logging Association also.
Mhm.
He's a big part of that. Here's my group, right here on your,
Oh, okay.
these are all the sponsors on yours.
Oh, okay.
So, are you done then?
I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, well, Sue got me going on this collaboration. I haven't really studied it.
Coordination,
What's that?
collaboration. Coordination, because coordination, collaboration.
This
two
is
different
collaboration.
things.
This is
Collaboration.
what I'm talking about right now. And all the states are doing it now, California, Oregon. They're trying to come to the table to save our forests, you know, because a lot of people, a lot of special interest in it. And they're working with the loggers, and they're trying to get a lot of mills going in a lot of states. But it isn't working out too well because the mills, they figure it costs them $100 million to build a mill. And here again, litigation is what's gonna hurt all of this. You know, we get litigated, and most loggers do, and it costs us a lot of money. But anyway, there might be something good happening. We got a deal the other day in the mail. They wanna work on, which one was this? The Myers Hogback Fire. They're opening it up for logging. It's gonna be a salvage job. It's about 10 million board feet, I think it is. So that shows they are working on it to clean up the mess. And this is what I was gonna give you, Sue. Gordy's in there.
Oh,
But it's
good.
really neat stuff about our governor, talking about collaboration and all that. Now, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation,
Great.
I thought this is kind of good news too. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation wanted to do some logging, you know, some restorative work in Montana, I think down around Deer Lodge. It said, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation and several other partners filed an amicus brief in support of the U.S. Forest Service and several other federal agencies. And they won. It went to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which they always vote against loggers. But this time they said, yes, you can clean up the forest. Now, Alliance of the Wild Rockies was not happy about that. They just want to leave it like that. But this is what I like the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I do, they're a good organization. This is what they said. We have sent, now these are collaborative too. They're on your group there too. We have seen environmental groups file frivolous litigation time and time again, seeking to thwart efforts to design at improving wildlife habitat and overall forest health. That is the case here, said Blake Henning, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Chief Conservative Officer. We appreciate the court's ruling to look forward to implementation of this needed habitat stewardship. But this is a biggie. You know, it shows times are changing. And I'm going to show you what our forests look like in a minute. But now I was going to go with this group here, and let me see. I'll let you pass this around. Should I just take one and this is all of them. I like this group because, in fact, Sue's group is on it too. Like I said, they all interchange. But this is heavy. Now, when you talk about collaboration, the people that are going to do the work for this collaboration effort are the loggers. It won't be the environmentalists, it won't, and it'll be the mills. Because what collaboration is, what they're talking about is going in and cleaning up the forest and making it good again for our natural, you know, for our elk and our bear and all the animals that live there. But this one here is heavy with the people that are going to do the restorative work, the hard work, the loggers. And if you look down there, Montana Logging Association, we belong to that, and that's a big part of this. And I'll read a little bit about this. Montana Logging Association was founded in 1976. The Montana Logging Association provides a unified voice for the family-owned business that harvests and transport timber from forest to mill in Montana. On behalf of our members, we interface with the public agencies, legislative bodies, and media sources. Members' benefits include safety services, group insurance programs. Now this is what's important, and a comprehensive professional accreditation logging program. Our organization has unbending commitment to forest stewardship. Logging has deep roots in Montana. It has been a part of the heritage for well over a century. And the MLA is planting the seeds that will ensure the future of this profession we call logging. But these are the guys that are going to do the restorative work. Now, when you saw that down here at the bottom, when everybody that works for us has to be an accredited logger. Do you guys know anything about certification and logging? I'm going to tell you.
I do.
I'm sure you do. Logging has changed. Everybody that works for us has to be certified. They have to take 40 hours of forestry management classes every year, streamside management classes. My husband has 1,000 hours of accredited logging. That means he's almost got a 4-year degree in forestry, but they don't work for us. And when the crew comes and we start them on this program, I think it costs a lot of money right up front. Like each member is about $700, I think, to get them started in this. But we are accredited and certified under Sustainable Forest Initiative. The loggers in Idaho are certified under Forest Stewardship Council. Now these, let me see, these are UN programs, and I'll show you. Remember when I passed this off? Remember when you got this? Okay, down at the bottom, Sustainable Forest Initiative is a program for the endorsement of forest certification, which is a UN non-government. And the Forest Stewardship Council is an accredited UN non-government organization. But 3 mills in Montana are also certified with Sustainable Forest Initiative, Pyramid. Gordy, he'll talk on this. Gordy does. Stoltz, they're really strict. They won't accept any logs, I believe, into their mill unless the logs are brought in by loggers that have accreditation. They're certified. They know what they're doing. And I don't know what the other one is. It probably would be Sun Mountain. I don't know if they're certified. They probably are, you know.
No,
But this
they don't
is,
require certification for the contract.
no, they don't. They don't. But Stoltz does. They're really strict up there.
About ROI.
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not
No.
sure.
They
they are.
just hope.
Never have.
They just hope you
Yeah.
take the class, but they don't.
They hope you go to your BMP and SMZ
Yeah.
class once a year.
But I'll
You
tell
don't have
you,
to be accredited to work for.
our guys have learned a lot at these classes. My son, he loves it. You know, I go to the woods and he takes me out, he shows me mistletoe, he shows me what's wrong with that tree, and he does a core sample he can bring out and see when that tree, you know, it's when it had a tough time, when it had a drought, you know, how old it was. Some trees that are really tiny, they could be 200 years old. You just think that. But this is what the SFI program does. It's the SFI Forest Management Standard covers key values such as protection of biodiversity, species at risk, wildlife habitat, sustainable harvest levels, protection of water quality, and prompt regeneration. And this is where it's really hard for us. All SFI certification require independent third-party audits are performed by internationally accredited certified bodies. In other words, we'll be working along on private land and all of a sudden we get a notice, we're going to be audited. But see, we like this certification. And so, and you can't get certified, they won't come for an audit until you're really well educated on managing the forest. And all of a sudden you get these people say, well, we're coming out. And they'll bring 10 environmentalists out that are looking for something wrong on your place. They got their little books out, you know, and they're hard. And I was proud, we got a 5 one time, that was a perfect deal. And usually we do really well, but we try hard, you know, to manage the forest. But, and this program here, and I'm sure Sue's program, they have, did you look to see if they had stewardship classes in yours?
I didn't.
You know what, Sue, I bet they do, and I bet it's the same classes, because they're all on each other's deal. We could take stewardship classes if we join either one, you know, which I think is kind of cool. But now I'm going to show you what we do, because here again, the collaboration is all about restoration. And we, the loggers, with our equipment, are the one that is going to make it happen. And this was a job, I don't see how terrible that is. This was at Georgetown Lake. It was on Denny, Washington. It's about 30 or 40 acres. This was all live. A wind came through and just blew it in really bad. And he hired us to go up, and we had to cut the stumps off. We had to haul them away. We had to take our excavators, fill all the holes. And a lot of the logs could be harvested because they were good. So we made some money on it. He paid us very well for doing it. And this is a picture. I'll pass that around. You can look. Now this is a picture. My brother-in-law, Kenny, recently got a drone. He's having more fun with it. But this is the same area as that. You can see the 40 acres and back, but all this picture here, that's Forest Service. They didn't do a thing. They just left it, let it blow down, and you can't walk through there. I'll pass this around too. But it was a mess. And you can see all the new growth is coming in. It's just beautiful up there. It's going to bring value to that property. But the Forest Service, yeah. Now this is our, we call it, Kevin called it the Russell's Fork Salvage. This was on the Bower Ranch. These were all dead trees that blew in. Just a mess. This is what your wilderness is going to look like. I guarantee it. It'll look like that for 200 years. They're all dead. They're going to blow in. It's going to be horrible. And this is the same salvage right here. We were hired by the Bower Ranch to go in and clean it up. I mean, it was a mess. It was terrible. Now, if you think you're going to go out and walk in your wilderness when you got these trees, think again. These trees will kill you. They're called widowmakers. They'll blow down. You walk through, you think you're safe. A wind comes up, it'll smack you. It killed more loggers. They are called widowmakers. Now, this area here is our restoration. This was up the middle fork of Rock Creek. It was the same as that, all blown in, all torn down, looked terrible. But with our new equipment, you can go, my brother-in-law, I don't know how he can do it. He takes a big piece, a big clipper, he goes in and out of all these little fir trees, and we try to do it, never when it's muddy. We try to get in the wintertime when it doesn't make much impact on the forest floor. But all these little fir trees are coming in, and when we are done logging, I go in with a group of ladies, they love doing this, they're my crew. We take lots of grass seed in. I have the strand mix, it's got 8 different grass seeds. We seed the forest, and it makes excellent elk habitat. This was taken before I seeded it, but we went in this spring and looked at it, and it was really nice. But I'm telling you, logging is different.
Do you guys replant trees?
No, we don't have to here. You know, that's a good point. I just came back from Oregon, and you know, they have so much rain, and they clear cut like crazy. I was going to Bandon, we were on this highway, I said, and I live down there too. I thought, kids, we'd never get away with this. All these huge clear cuts, it was horrible. They looked ugly. But you know what? They plant right away. And I remember in junior high, they would take our junior high class out, and we loved it. We all go plant the forest, you know, and it worked. But you could see where they planted right away. But I think because they get so much rain, and, you know, it just erodes terrible, you know, all that. But here, the trees come in all on their own. The lodgepole will come in. It does. It comes in really nice on its own. In 5 years, you'll see lodgepole all over the place, or for whatever it is.
Does it take a fire to start?
I will, you know, Sue, I know what you're asking about that. Lodgepole will come in on its own. There is a pine tree back east that demands you have a fire to open the deal. But a lot of people out here try to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, out here they'll try to tell you have to have a fire for lodgepole, but we go, it just grows in like
The sun will
weeds.
do it.
Yeah.
You get the cones on the
Yeah.
ground. And we had to, when I was doing it, we had to sterify the ground, you know, like 56 or 50 to 70%. And then we had to actually count cones. When they come in with mechanical equipment, sometimes they weren't hitting the trees hard enough, and the cones would fall off, the lodge poles. So it was 6,000 cones per acre. So we wouldn't count 6,000 cones per acre, but we'd take 100 acre plots and count the cones and then expand that. And we had to go around and make sure there were 6,000. But then the summer sun will open up those.
Right, you
those
see
cones.
them open up.
Right, and so you get the natural regrowth.
Here's my brother-in-law again with the drone. He went where they had the fires, but it's all going to blow over. It's going to be a horrible mess. The Forest Service should actually have gotten a salvage deal going last fall. They should have logged all this and put stuff all over the forest floor, so when it rained, the erosion wouldn't have taken it all down, because you lose a lot of dirt, you know, the top layer. It's really bad. And I got you guys each one of these.
All right.
It's, this comes from the DNRC, we work with them. When we do our audits, the DNRC always comes up, you know, with the rest of the environmentals. But this is called Montana Forestry Best Management Practices. But in the back, let me see, I think, okay, this shows you where a fire happened and they didn't salvage it. They didn't do anything. And 2 years later, it still looks really bad. But here, they did a salvage job, and they put a bunch of awful stuff on the soil, but it holds the soil there, that's so important. And in 3 months, it was back again, looking good. So forests need management, that's for sure. But anyway, go ahead and pass those around, I'll give each one of you one of those. This is compliments of the DNRC. But if you guys will study it, it's really interesting. It just shows you good logging and bad logging, and there's a difference. Let me see, I can pass it down this way. How many do I need?
I don't think.
Okay, and everyone get one?
No, Miss Chuck.
Okay, Scott, would you like
I
one?
love one.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess that's my presentation, but I would like to stress again that all this collaboration without the logger ain't gonna work. We're the one that's gonna go out there and do the work. And we're the ones that fight the fires. And well, I hope you took something away from this. But Sue's group and my group is pretty much the same. It's all about coming to the table. And in California, the environmentalists are really coming to the table with loggers, because they've got such a mess down there. They said, we've got to work with the Forest Service, we've got to get, they want to go in now and thin these huge forests. Their trees are so big down there. But they want to thin them so when the bugs come to them, they can fight off the bug kill. If they get enough, trees demand a lot of water.
Anyway.
If they get it, they won't die with the bug kill. But
Well, thank you, Patty.
you're welcome.
Yeah, good.
What kind of grass do you use?
You know-
It's natives?
It's the Dean Strand mix, and it's down at Hogan's, and it's great for dry land. It's got like orchard grass, it's got a little bit of clover, timothy, and a whole bunch of others. I should have brought that in, but it's a really good grass mix.
So it's a non-native.
Probably so. Dean Strand, did you know him? He had the ranch at
Right,
Rockford.
right.
He's really smart, and he's the one that created this. And we use it on all our logging sites. And V-Tours, when we were done logging, you can't even tell we logged on their places still. But when I went in, we seeded it all, and they figured they could run 30% more cows after, but now Jason's calling us and said, the trees are coming back and I can't run as much cows, you know, and that happens. But, and another place I was gonna tell you, I like the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation because they would like to go out and do some more clear cutting, grassing in, you know, for the elk out there, because you know they like grass. Now, one of the worst jobs of logging I've ever seen was on McKay Gulch, out on the West Fork. We were logging on the Bower place, and I used to work in the woods. I ran a Hon harvester. I don't know if any of you knew that, for about 4 years. But on my lunch break, I would take a walk, and I'd watch these guys. It was just rip and tear. It was horrible. It was a full section, mile, 4 miles, square miles. It was so horrible. But I can tell you, it grew in to be one of the best elk habitats you ever saw. World famous people come hunting there. It's right in my backyard. And my guest cabin, I've had Jim Lovell, Jun13, he went hunting up there. He stays at my cabin. And sometimes scarification is good, you know, it breaks the dirt up, you know. In your garden, what do? You hoe it, you know, so maybe it doesn't hurt it. But I'm telling you, he has people from all over the world, and they get these big bull elks. I have his little catalog, I was going to bring it, but it's in my cabin. I have guests staying there now, so I couldn't get it. But I do believe that we do need a little bit more clear cuts out there. Not big, but grass it in and make it really nice for the elk. And elk, they come down on the private landowner all the time, more than out there. And you saw the trees going over, they're not going to stay out there. We're talking 200, 300, sometimes 800 head of elk coming in on your property. That's hard on a rancher. Okay, I'm done.
That was great.
Okay.
I want to add a couple of things. The Forest Service required when I was there, native grass species, and there were all kinds of them, and to reseed. Another thing is, Patty was talking about the slash on the ground. Where the fire, it's not, there's no slash on the ground, it's all burned off,
Yeah,
these trees,
exactly.
they're gonna be on the ground. But up on Black Pine, oh, we all at that, 89, part of the skid trails, we put slash on and trampled it, and so it's put it down to the ground. Well, then there's a big thunderstorm came up in August, and it just torrential rains. And the regular water bar, and there's some that, you know, the contract required regular water bars on skid trails. Okay, so some of them had regular water bars, and they're good water bars. And some of them had trample slash, and every one with the trample slash never washed. And a lot of the water bars washed out. I mean, there must
There
have
is a
4 inches
lot
of
of
rain.
value in that, isn't, for
To
several
get-
reasons.
yeah, to
The
get-
cover and,
Get that nutrients in the ground
Right,
and
exactly.
hold the soil there.
There's a lot of soil that got lost last year, you know, up the middle fork. I mean,
And another thing I wanna say, you know, you had the one picture of all the blow down there.
yeah,
Well, when all these fires blow down, those logs are off the ground. They're not trampled in.
they won't rot.
They won't rot. And I don't know if you guys have hunted in places like that, you know, that burned a long time ago, and, you know, and they're just tons, I mean, you know, you can't do it, I mean, you know. I mean, that's what it's gonna be, a lot of that lodgepole out there.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be horrible,
And there's no money to go clean up the forest.
but anyway, that was good. So, can you guys get together?
Yeah.
No idea.
and to figure out a time for Gordy to come.
Yeah.
And
Do you wanna do that the same day Gordy comes and then do our field trip meeting?
I think that'd be best, and then we'd have to
Okay,
figure out 2 days.
okay.
And maybe that lady.
Does everybody agree with that?
That lady that spoke.
Air
up.
quality? Yeah, she would be great. Let's put that on if we could get that lady to come talk.
I agree with
She'll be very good, yeah.
Do we wanna make a motion that we do that, or do we just?
I'll make a motion that we do that. So, that we get this going.
Second it. Everybody agrees?
Aye.
so Patty and I will just figure out a date.
Hmm?
Patty and I can figure out a date, or do you wanna figure out a date right now?
It'd be best, I think,
Talk to them and see what they got.
yeah,
See
you're
what
talking,
they
you're
got,
talking
see
Gordy,
what's-
we
and
can
then
do.
send
you-
emails.
Yeah, we can go on our jobs anytime. I
Yeah.
just gotta get permission from the landowner.
Okay,
And, you know,
so,
as long as it's, a few weeks out,
right,
I'll work around it.
right,
you know.
right, it might even take a month, but I mean, you know, we'll just
Yeah.
get on it right away.
Yeah, so just call Gordy then and see when he can come down
I will,
and just let me know then.
and then we'll,
I'll have my son take us around, he'd be proud to do that. He's like showing the forest.
so I suppose around 10 o'clock or something,
For Gordy to come?
yeah,
Yeah,
reasonable, is that, to get it started, okay.
I think that's a good idea, like you said, to put it so people can come listen to him though.
Right,
Very great.
And then how is that gonna be noticed to everybody?
What would you, could we get it out, Helena?
I don't know.
The best way.
I have no clue.
Email?
Can we put it on the website?
Who's gonna put it on the website?
I can ask them to put it on, ask Mike to put it on there.
See?
Yeah. How does the county usually do it when when they did that white? How did they,
Mike just puts it on there. Okay,
what does he do, put it on the emails or?
on the Granite County website.
Oh, okay, and people, a lot of people wouldn't see that. probably,
Yeah, they may
would
not.
Yeah, I didn't know about it till Chuck and Heidi told me about that. Maybe the paper, how about the paper?
So
Wouldn't it be a
quick
good
mail,
thing
would they
to?
do that for free?
they don't, but I think it'd be
Okay.
worth it.
Okay,
Tell me what date it is and I'll make sure I write it in
okay,
the article.
Okay, so, I will be in touch with you, Scott, okay?
that'd be the best way.
Cause I think just leaving two of you figuring it out would be better than having everybody, cause we're all gonna say, well, I can't make this, we can't just.
Yeah, you just gotta set a date, and if they can't make it, they can't.
I know I have your phone
Now
number, but
everybody make it.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Okay, should we plan on, like he'll talk, and then it'd be almost lunchtime? Should we
Right.
just have lunch in town and then head out to?
Right, everybody
Field
can
trip
figure
then?
out their lunches and then
All right,
get out.
Yeah, sounds good.
all right.
Next one, mission statement. Anybody come up with a mission statement?
Oh,
I
it should have collaboration in it though, you know, I thought about that, but
Well, didn't we just get something?
no, we
Granite
were supposed to
County
come,
Forest
I was gonna
Management.
work on that, I forgot.
Didn't we just get something handed to us? Granite County Forest Management Advisory Committee bylaws and the mission statements in it. Objectives, the purpose.
Every group has a snappy little
Right,
deal, and we don't want it drawn out like a
I
big
know, it's
business
just a
deal.
sentence.
And it should have maybe collaboration in it, because most of them do. you know.
Right.
I had one a while back.
Does that Rio Valley County, do they have a mission statement there? It's in the Scott,
What's that?
the Rio Valley County Collaborative, do you have a mission statement?
Right there. Oh, let me look.
Did you make copies of that?
Yes.
Thank you.
The Montana Forest Collaboration Network, I don't know if this is their mission statement, but it says assisting collaboration in forest and grassland restoration, conservation, and resource utilization for the benefit of all. You know, something along that line.
Here's theirs for Valley. Okay, their mission statement.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think we're ready to do the mission statement, so
I don't think there are two.
No, maybe not. Let's wait.
we'll put that off on to the
Maybe
next
not.
time. Again. Okay, we discussed the wilderness field trip to the wilderness study area.
Yes,
And
I
we
would
can
love to
run
see
down
it.
there after.
See, that's a long ways. It's the opposite direction to be going. That's way down below Barbara Larry Clark, probably, huh?
No,
Really? Where's it at?
no, you go out to Moose Lake and it's all that area. You can go up to Scalco and come back.
The Sapphire? I thought it was down towards Clark. Oh, it's that way, going up Moose Lake and then over, huh?
Yeah, towards, the west.
Oh, it is out that way then. Oh, we could really make it there. I have no idea where it's at, so what it looks like.
Anyway, so we can do that, okay?
All right.
The same day,
Same.
same, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll just pack a lunch. Rain gear.
Right.
If it will quit raining.
Okay, then we're gonna go to new business. You don't have any now.
No, I was, there was a bill that, Elena says it got sunk. You said 2016?
I got a table.
Well, if you go to the Wildlands Network, they said they're gonna submit it this year in 2018 again. They've got several people to support it. That's just what I got off their website. What did I do with that?
Which bill is this, Patty?
Oh, it's not too nice. But we should all keep a track of it. Don Bayer, Democrat, Virginia, Garrett Graves, Republican, Louisiana, and Senator Tom Udall, Democrat, New Mexico, is pushing for, it's called the Wildlife Corridors Conservation Act, and it has nothing to do with federal lands, it's all private land. They want to do corridors.
Could we
And
put that off till next time?
we can, yeah. I
And
thought-
then we can find out.
I'll go check
exactly
it out to
the
see.
exact status of it.
I will, I'll check that out and see maybe we could get more
So
on.
we'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah.
So what's it called?
It's called
Work that fast.
the Wildlife Corridors Conservation Act of 2016. And you can look it up online.
It sounds like something I would love.
Yeah, and maybe not, Sue, because they want to take your
Something.
fences down, take out your dams
It's,
or,
wildlife.
yeah.
Quarters.
It's not rancher friendly, this one.
So we have to mark it.
Easier.
I still think it's probably a lot of good.
Well, check it out, see what you think, yeah. It's on the Wildlife Network. If you go Wildlife Network, it used to be the Wildlands Project, but they changed the name to Wildlife Network. And I think you probably would like them, but
Yeah, I would,
Yeah.
I'm all about wildlife.
I want everybody to read it, to see what their input is on it. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but.
We're gonna lose our agenda person pretty quick, so.
Oh.
Huh?
Let's get a little longer.
Oh,
Okay, so, new business. Yeah, you do.
I just gave it to you.
Huh?
You guys just, I just passed them all out on the last.
we all got one. So.
On the Valley County.
Thank you, Scott, for doing this.
Danielle from Center, Dave's office out there.
Okay.
I called, Valley County and they never ever got back with me, so she went ahead and did it.
Okay.
She helped me get it.
Okay, so we can put this on the agenda for next time too. So
That
we're
way
all-
you'll have time to look it
Huh?
over. That way you'll
So
have time.
we can look it over and let's all try to look it over.
Yeah, I will, I'll even do it. Patty, will you write your phone number down?
Yes, I will. Can I use your pen?
Sure. Okay.
I'll bring up a new business.
Oh, you go.
Or do you want to?
Around the table. As far as, you're all familiar with Smurfit Stone, what's going on up in Frenchtown?
I've been hearing that. They got a little damage with the water, high
Yeah.
water. And
Well, it was kind of
stuff.
interesting. You can go to the Department of Justice website, and you can see how it's being handled. And throughout the whole thing, these are the big guns that are doing the discussion now. And the big guns are the trustees. And the trustees are limited to certain people who are going to be, certain groups that are going to be dealing with the EPA. And this is coordination. This is not collaboration. And this is, I guess, the purpose of our group,
Oh, yeah.
to provide this information to the commissioners so that they can do coordination. But if the commissioners haven't an idea what it is, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Would that be like something Elaine would get us the information and we'd write a
I
letter?
gave you that booklet.
Yeah. If you didn't
That's
read this,
coordination.
I suggest
I did. It
grab
was,
one and read it.
oh, it's so good.
There
You are
was a-
powerful. I had no idea.
There was a meeting the commissioners had where well, we handed it out at the last meeting. They were on the
Remember, I had to
table.
leave early, sorry.
I don't think I got one either.
I left early, remember I had to get out.
I read mine if you want to take it home, read it.
Oh,
I'll
I
read it
haven't
next
got
time.
Thank you very much.
There are two left on the table. I remember that.
Yeah, there's two left on the table.
That's right. Anyway, to go back at this, there was also a meeting with the commissioners with a Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, because there is another controversy happening with the Bearmouth fishing access. And I think that's something our group can also get involved with. But I brought it up about coordination, and the commissioners, they don't want that to happen, the fishing access, but it's like the attitude, what are we gonna do about
Is
it?
that in Granite, must be in Granite County?
Yes, it
It's
is.
down past the Schley. We've been on it, we've gone to all their meetings, we've argued with them.
That's not coordination.
What is the problem? Someone won't let people fish?
You
I
read
don't
this.
have one.
This is just new, I have a call in to the person that's in charge of this, and he wants to meet. So I don't know when we're gonna set that up, but I'm suggesting that he meets with the commissioners on the agenda to answer the questions that I posed to him.
Bring your law for
I also have another
consultation
call
and
into
information
Mako,
on that new law that you were just talking about.
because Mako apparently has a
Oh, the
group
bill?
Yeah.
that meets once
Okay,
a
wait.
year, and they just had a meeting in February.
That's fine.
All the counties go to this group, and they discuss forest service problems, and parks, recreation, wildfires, all this. And I don't know, Scott,
Where it's at.
if Granite County attended that one. But that would be interesting also, especially it happened in February when all this started to hit the fan with the wilderness study areas and stuff.
Huh.
I didn't even know that about that group, so I got a call in for that.
we meet up?
They meet, this one they had in Billings, I believe. But it's every year.
And MACO's a Montana Association of
Of
County.
counties, right. I don't agree with everything they do, but they keep the commissioners, the counties up to date on things, and I don't know, our commissioners didn't go.
Okay, this coordination thing, I mean, like I say, if you haven't read it, read it.
It's really,
And
Yeah,
these
I mean,
laws, here's this law that Patty was talking about, and I read it, I read that law.
They may be in the box.
And I can't
Could
find
they
it.
call
Yeah,
it?
Wherever the box is,
Yeah,
that's
it
our
said,
file, Jim.
With consultation
Jim, we've
and
got a file.
coordination
It's a box.
with local government.
Somewhere in the
So,
vicinity.
and according to what the stuff I've read, this comes from Atlanta, I mean, that all these bills that come down basically from the federal government have coordination in it. And it just went by everybody. Well, then
And it's still
people-
going by, because you talk about the collaboration. Yeah, that's the collaboration part,
Oh, the
the
collaboration's a
stakeholders.
little
bit-
The
Yeah.
stakeholders,
yeah,
everybody.
you can have
You
both.
can have both.
Collaboration
You can have,
is,
as long as you have that coordination, you can still talk about it.
yeah.
As long as you have that coordination.
The final decision is up to
The final
them.
decision,
Right.
and what it says is,
Yeah.
the local agency is equal to the federal agency. So they can't come in, and they did that on purpose, so they can't come in and say, okay, basically, we're not gonna log anything, and when our economy is based on logging and, forth anything. So, and so, can we put that on the agenda, everybody? try to
Okay,
study
and just this thing, that's the Forest Service, okay, we're supposed to be Forest Service Management. So we're doing all this to present it to the commissioners, and the commissioners are gonna sit down with the Forest Service and say, this is what we want. And it's just between the two of them.
Exactly.
And the Forest Service says, well, we don't think so. Well, the county commissioners say, well, I'm sorry, we do.
Exactly.
And they're gonna
And they
hold
don't
to
do
it.
anything until the commissioners agree to it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's the way it's, and that's the,
Well, we're gonna shake things up here maybe, huh? That's good.
there's a county in Oregon that's doing it. It's set up just like that. And we may be the
I
first
think
here if
things,
we do it
yeah,
right.
yeah, that's good.
Well, it looks to me like we're entering Bundy territory
Oh,
with some
see?
of this.
No, it's in the bills, it says coordination.
Bundy
read it.
territory.
Read
I will read it.
And they put it in there so that they couldn't do like I said, they just can't overpower a local government.
County commissioners have a lot of power. They're supposed to. You know, it's our local government.
But you have to be careful. What if we had commissioners that weren't any good? I mean, that
Yes.
that
That's why
could
you gotta elect good
happen,
ones.
then, right, but what if? Right,
So they let you try.
Yeah.
Sue, this is already, it's a congressional act, it's already there. There's nothing, no discussion about it. It's there. There's a village back east that is suing the FDA because they didn't follow the coordination process. I am trying to get this county to sue the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks because they did not follow the coordination process.
Is that in the state law? I know it's
That's
federal.
MIPA.
In MIPA?
That's in MIPA. They have to do the coordination.
I
Unfortunately,
mean, so then what, so if you don't like the county commissioners, then you elect different ones.
right, yeah. I know, I know, Chuck. Congratulations, by the
Have
way.
you followed what's happening in California? They're gonna divide it up, about 4 different states now. I can't believe
I
it.
don't think that they're really going to do that, but
It'll be interesting.
Can I take yours, Chuck, and read it, or get a copy made?
Alina, did you give us those? You gave us those too.
I made copies, and like I said, they were left on the table. They were in the box.
Here,
maybe.
maybe Mike would make a copy for you and me, Scott, then I won't have to
It
take it.
doesn't look like it's
How about
that
Jim?
big.
You want one?
You can take them
I
right
didn't
out
get
of
one.
there.
Make 3 copies
Can
Can I have
then.
one too, Scott?
4 copies.
Now, one thing, if we had a website, it could be up there.
Website.
Oh,
You did a website.
They're the one, okay,
Facebook, no,
let me,
Facebook.
for the record, Facebook, yeah, there's another thing about Facebook. I already put Facebook up, but I didn't do anything until we agree that we're gonna have a Facebook page and what information is on it. If we decide that, then I'll add that to the
And if
Facebook
anybody has
page.
pictures to put on the Facebook page,
You know, like
that,
Patty's
you know,
got some nice
represents
pictures.
what you-
you know.
Oh, the login stuff,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
I
all
like
this
the
can,
good and the bad one.
Yeah, the good and the bad.
and a
Before
lot of
and
this,
after.
and a lot of this can be put up, comments could be put up. But as far as a page on the county commissioners page, again, that is the county page. It is not the county commissioners page. Everybody that's involved should be able to put up the agenda at the notices, the departments. That should be there. Not that we have to submit it to Mike. We should all have access to it, and we should all be able to do that.
But that could really backfire. I think the county has a nice website. I don't have any problems with it. I mean, somebody could hijack that.
I haven't even seen it.
How do we hijack it? That's a county website.
But if you start letting anybody put stuff on.
It's not anybody. We happen to be a board. You
Okay.
understand? And the board has a presence. And the board can put all this under there. You've got, oh, well, let's see. You've got, what's that Becky called? That one. The one she's the, yeah,
Planning board or something?
emergency, what's that called? FEP. What does it stand for? Oh, there we go. Well, the FEP has its own
Make fun of me
page.
because I don't know what it stands for.
Well, it has
That's
its
not
own
right.
page.
Come on.
You know, this is the whole thing. This is a lot of work. We all have our, we're really conscientious, we want to help out, we want to do something, and yet where does this information go? In a box, and then all of a sudden, well, I didn't get this, and I left this there, and who cares about any of this stuff?
Are you talking Facebook or a website?
Though, the Granite County website, if you look at
I've never
Ravalli
looked at it.
County, if you look at Ravalli County, I realize it's a big county. We don't have to be that in-depth.
Okay.
But you got the Granite County, the commissioners, they have their stuff. They have other people, they have their stuff.
How
And
do
they
you find
put
it?
up
Just go
there.
Ravalli County website and then you'll probably.
Ravalli County, yeah.
You just come over there. I'm gonna go look at it and see what it looks like.
Oh, and I
And
went
look at
from
ours.
big to little. Already discussed this with the commissioners, you know?
Okay.
And,
And then if we plan something or have a speaker, we could put it on that website, right?
It would be a
And people would
notice.
know.
That's
I think
right.
that'd be nice, you know, so.
yeah,
So you
and
wanna make a
it'd be
motion
like,
that we
this,
do-
that's what I think the secretary would do. We decide what has, all this information, then it gets put up there so anybody can look at it.
Well, I agree.
And that's the
I like
way it
that
should
idea.
be.
I like that idea.
Not that we have to present
Not
it
that
to
we're
Mike and then
hiding
Mike
something
or
behind
the
somebody's
commissioners or
back.
whatever to
Yeah.
approve that.
And then people can't write and comment about us, right, like on Facebook, so
No.
it's just a closed website.
You can
read
have
the
that.
information we offer.
You can
so,
have that, like the commissioners have a email address.
Yeah,
We can have a Granite County, whatever, FMAC,
okay.
that has people can contact, the contact information. This is not a Mickey Mouse operation.
Yeah,
I want it to be something that has a presence and people are gonna listen to it.
yeah.
So you as the secretary, do you have the ability to do that?
No, I don't. That's what the whole thing was, you know, Maggie, this was discussed at the first time. That we
Who could
need to
it?
do
Who- A
this.
special person in our group would do
I
it?
asked, I wanted to know who's the job, what the secretary does, what his purpose was here. Who do we report to? What do we do, the minutes and everything? Is this news? Because you can look it up on YouTube.
Okay.
Do you want the minutes put up on the website, or just a
Jim,
decision?
the thing about the minutes, we made a motion that this was going to be the electronic recording of the meetings. They could have been done audible, whatever. That's all it was. But somebody has to do the minutes,
Okay.
the summary. So this way, when that's up on the website, I look at it, I'm somebody from the public, and I says, oh, look, at 1:30 they discussed this. Well, I want more information. So then they can go and they can see the whole thing.
Gotcha. I'll make a motion that we put the summary of each meeting on the Granite County website.
Could they be approved minutes?
I'll make a motion that we put the approved minutes of the meeting before on the Granite County website.
I'll second that.
But who's gonna do it though?
Yeah.
See, that's what you're getting.
That's a big problem.
Even if you get the access to do it, can you do it?
Can you do it?
I mean,
If I can find out how to do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
If they give
Who do
me
you
the
get, tell
code,
the
I can
secretary?
do it.
I make a motion.
What do you talk to
Secretary
to
will-
find out how to do it?
The county commissioners who think they have control over the whole damn thing.
Well, couldn't you just submit it to whoever takes care of the webpage and let Mike do it?
One more
I
thing
mean-
for Mike to do.
Is that,
I think it is not that bad, though, this,
The notices, Sue, if you've looked at the notices, the Granite County agendas were always on there.
right.
Nothing else. Then all of a sudden I opened my big mouth and, well, guess what? We have the Forest Service meetings on it. Then apparently I opened my mouth again and we had the airport. Out of the blue, we have the agenda for the
So
airport.
does Mike put those on, the airport agenda and things like that?
I guess so.
Well, that he could do this.
It just seems like.
But then we
want
have to
one
wait,
person
right?
in
Then we
charge.
have to wait.
Why can't we have our secretary do it?
That's the way it should be. It should be whoever's, this is the meeting, we decide something, all this information can be put up. All of it can be put up and anybody can look there.
Can we
So
appoint
let's
you
just make a
then?
motion and have the secretary do it. I mean,
Yeah, can we make a motion
Okay,
to have?
presto, I can't get in. You need a password and everything. You can't just do it. I need a password. I need permission to do that.
And who gives you your permission?
The county commissioner.
Okay, Scotty, can you get the permission
I'll
that
take it
Elena?
back and ask Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll get that permission.
But I don't know if that's a good idea. I mean, are you gonna put propaganda on
That's
the
not
website?
propaganda.
That is not propaganda.
That's
That
in
is
the
a
bills.
congressional act. I don't understand,
That's in
you
the
know,
bills.
I'm sorry.
This,
I'm sorry,
When
I
it's-
really,
when
you
it
know,
says-
collaboration is
Why can't we just have our
propaganda.
own website?
Okay, but say there,
Does it have to be in the
this
Granite
is-
County one?
Say there was propaganda. I mean, I think.
I can
the
put up a
committee-
blog.
Why,
Maybe this
wouldn't
will
that be better to just have it on your own? For the forest?
Are we a county commission advisor? Are we just a off-the-wall group that meets?
hey, for now.
Like some of these environmental
Then we
groups?
just do Facebook and then, get that coordinated.
Right, it all takes time.
Yeah.
Takes time, so we're putting the proverbial cart before the horse.
So you don't think-
Facebook would be fun, we could do pictures.
Anybody-
And we can make it closed so people can't comment and say bad things about, can't we do
Oh,
that?
guess what? Do you know that tonight at 6 o'clock or 6:30 in
6:30.
Drummond at the public library, there's gonna be a big meeting between the towns and the commissioners.
Joint session.
A joint session where I understand that there's a lot of concerns about how things are running in this county. Maybe we should, I will be there.
I won't be there.
So maybe, I'm sure that
Hmm?
the commissioners will be there.
Why
And
would-
maybe it'll be brought up.
So does anybody want a Facebook page?
I don't know which is best. Is a website better than a Facebook page? I mean, Facebook, a lot of places, everything has this Facebook
If
page.
you're happy with a Facebook page, I'll put up pictures and then,
For
if
now,
you
I-
wanna send me something, I'll put it up for you, okay? And then it's not formal, it's like
Yeah.
anybody can put up a Facebook and I'll put it up.
You have to get your.
It's
Any
easy,
questions,
simple.
contact the
It's
county
fun.
commissioners.
It's fun.
So, somebody make a motion and somebody second it.
I'll make a motion instead of posting it on the Granite County website that we post it in Facebook. And Alina, you'll take care of posting it in Facebook?
Oh, yeah, I'll put
Lena's
stuff up and
responsible
if
for
somebody
posting on
wants to.
Facebook.
Thank you, Mike.
That was kind of a long motion, wasn't it?
That one's mine.
We got a
You
second?
can-
I second
Thank
it.
you, Scott.
Everybody agrees? Say aye.
Aye. Thank you. Kind of
Did
good,
you want one of these?
So anybody
Thank
can
you,
post to it,
coordination.
that's it.
It's good bedtime reading.
I'll get it set up and then anybody can post to it. And then
You know,
really
Lena,
gonna-
the difference
Then you're
between
really gonna see propaganda.
coordination, Lena, and collaboration. Collaboration is between non-government organizations, what do you think? Like environmentalists talking with the law.
Collaboration?
Collaboration, it's
That's right.
non-government. Where
There's
this
an
would be
agency
government.
involved.
Government, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's the
Talk
difference.
slow when I make a motion.
See, what you have now is an agency getting together with all these collaborative groups.
Yes.
And then they basically influence the agency, and then we got rules and regulations coming out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
next
like what they're
meeting will be
doing
July
over here with the
11th
fishing
Okay.
access.
on a Wednesday. And 2 o'clock,
What's that?
at 2 o'clock.
When is the next meeting?
July 11th.
July 11th. Okay.
Somebody wanna make a motion to adjourn this?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second.
Did you say there was a box here?
There was a, remember that for our first meeting, there was a box and everything went in the box?
Well, then send it to me, it will send it to all of us, and then we don't have to, before July 1st.
Lena, did Dick even look at that deal that I was interested in? Could he
I didn't
take
see
it
it.
and read it and see what he thinks it means? Would he do that for me?
Which one was it?
That corridors bill.
Fertilizer.
Yeah,
Remember, it
like
wasn't
the wildlands
stamped.
project.
He did apply,
Was
but
he
it
real
wasn't
busy?
stamped.
There's,
Yes, I don't
I
know.
can send you that information. I asked if it was
Maybe he
passed
thinks
and it
it's-
failed.
Yeah, I'm so like.
You can take a look.
I will look at that.
A couple
But could he
meetings.
read this to
We
explain
have a lot of
what this
different
bill is? It's
factors.
not very
Yeah, so it
long,
must be 6 members.
but I'd like his input. To me, it's like,
Did you hear the
Say
one,
that it
did
won't
you ever
be
hear of the
more than
Yellowstone
6
to
people.
Yukon?
that's what this
Well,
is.
That's exactly what it is, and
Yes.
they've been
Okay.
doing it ever
I
since
know
it
it
was
said six.
Yeah.
suggested in 1998. They've been doing
I
it,
know.
whether they have an act or not.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
So, yeah, it is, especially when they take your land and say, guess what, rancher? You're not gonna have a ranch
Well, Elena, you
anymore.
let me worry about my land and I'll worry about your land.
We're all gonna have to worry about it. We're in
I
that
would-
corridor.
In this bill, I would like to know what fences they're gonna tear down and what dams and power lines and things like that.
Well, they don't want the cattle to go all over.
That's another thing on the agenda, is that we're all gonna be vegetarians, I understand. They got rid of timber, they're getting rid of mining, and they'll get rid of meat.
Well, why don't you let me know when you
Yeah.
find out?
I
That'd be
will,
fun.
I should be able to call you like Friday, I'm
Okay.
busy tomorrow, but
All right.
I'll get hold of you.
Okay, if you can, it's 3315. If I'm not there, just leave a message.
I will,
Okay.
I will. do
Chuck,
that.
so what's gonna be on the agenda, we don't know?
Uh,
Just that it's gonna be
yeah,
the 11th, we don't know if it's gonna be on it.
She had to go, so, she'll send it out, and then you can have on whatever you want, like before.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks for all your hard work.
all.
Yeah, this must be the